Well, hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. This is the book spot. This is the spot where people get the Well, welcome back to the book spot. I am Joseph McCray, author, and I want to talk to you today about the joy of writing. The joy of writing. And we know that the scripture says in Hebrews 12:2 that Jesus, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross. Jesus had joy and excitement, folks, to endure the cross because he knew that lives were going to be changed. And this is our Savior. You say, well, what does that got to do with book, Joe? Well, it's got everything to do with a book. And so if you're writing, you're thinking about something you want to share with the world, it's going to take some endurance. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some sacrifice. But it's an exceptional joy that comes over you because you're looking to be a blessing. You're looking to be able to enhance someone's life. You first and foremost will bless yourself. You say, what? Yeah, you'll bless yourself. You will amaze yourself at what's on the inside of you, what you're able to really pour out and put into a book. Don't limit yourself. Don't think, well, I can't do it. Yes, you can. And even if you just do it sort of in a draft form, real raw, you can always get the best editors to clean it up and make it into a great book. Folks, don't be limited. Don't shortchange yourself. Okay. So the book spot is here to inspire you, to encourage you, to let you know that you can do it. So the joy of writing, there is a joy. For every book that I've written, there has been a joy. There's been a pleasure. There's been a good feeling about something that's about to come to pass. And when I look back over them, I still have the joy. I still have the excitement to know that, hey, you know what? You endured, you pressed, you pushed on, you sacrificed, and you made it happen. And I encourage you who are watching to endure, to sacrifice, to make it happen, folks. Don't limit yourself. Don't say, well, you know what? I'm not smart enough. I don't have the time. It's going to cost me something. It is a joy that comes with writing when you know that your words were able to impact another human being and cause that human being to either laugh, to be more thoughtful, to gain some wisdom, to maybe even think about relationships or whatever your book is about. Don't limit yourself from writing it. So the book spot is here to encourage you, to say to you that yes, that book that's in you, write it, make it happen. Any day that you decide that you're going to write that book is a good day. If you decide tomorrow, if you decide this weekend, it's a good day. No more pondering, no more procrastinating. You know what I came to learn about procrastination? Procrastination is really fear. It's the fear that you will fail. It's the fear that you will not succeed. And so you procrastinate. You put it off. You keep saying, I'll get to it. It's really behind it is a fear that no one will read my book or it will not sell. It will not really get into the hands of the people that need it the most. Folks, it takes work to get your book to the places where it is needed. It's not going to just fly and get to people's hands. It's not because it's on Amazon. Like these people are going to just figure out, you know what, let me go and get this book. You're going to have to push it. You're going to have to endure. You're going to have to first write it, and then you're going to have to first push it to the people that need it the most. And that will take some work. But there's a joy when people come back and say, man, I really enjoyed your book. It really blessed me. It really made me think about something. It really made me laugh. And so that is the joy of writing. That is the joy of writing. If you never put it down, if you never made it tangible, they will not be able to say that to you. They will not be able to give you that kind of praise. And so I stopped by here today to just let you know that there is a joy of writing. There's an excitement about something good, and you should not waste another minute. You should not delay. Do not get into fear. Do not let fear hold you back, immobilize you, keep you from turning your ideas and your thoughts into a tangible form, such as a book. Okay? Don't let it do that. And the way you don't let it do it is by making advances a little bit at a time, a little bit of steps, a little bit of progress at a time. And what will happen is fear will have to go. Fear will realize this person is serious. This person is determined. They have motivation behind them, they have commitment, and they are going to bring it to pass. And after a while, fear will have no more hold on you. You're not a procrastinator. You figure out how many hours a week that you're going to devote to writing your book and just putting it on paper, just pulling out your phone and recording it. But getting that book out of you, that is the joy. That is the joy. And I want you to know that you can have joy in your writing. Joy in your writing. So if you're watching me right now, you got a comment. Let me see here. I don't see anything going on. But I'm going to just share with you about the joy of writing, knowing that it could be a blessing to someone. And don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged after you've written your book and you now have to sell that book. Don't get discouraged. Just keep plugging at it. Just keep looking at new avenues, new ways to get it to the people who need it the most. Know who your audience is. Figure out who should have this book, who should read this book, and identify them. Find out where they are. Get to those forums, get to those types of media so that you can be able to put it in the hands of the people who need it the most. That is the greatest joy for someone who's been looking to read what you have written. That is a joy to put in someone's hand a book that they've been searching for, that they've been wondering about, that they've always wanted to hear someone's story, someone's testimony, someone's experience. And so I encourage you today to do that, to make it happen. Don't hesitate, don't procrastinate, don't be in fear. Bring the joy to your life and bring the joy to others as well. All right. I got to be careful with this camera. It will go off on me, but that's okay because you still could hear me. I still had audio. You see that? That's called determination. That's called enduring. Even though the video was gone, you still had the audio. But yes, so talking about the joy of writing, talking about just the good feeling you get from writing, being determined, not throwing in the towel, not procrastinating, not being in fear, but just pursuing it one day at a time. It's amazing that statement, one day at a time, became real to me during COVID when I saw how people's lives were changed just within one day. I began to understand that term to the fullest. One day at a time. That's really all we have. One day at a time. And what you do in that day will make a difference for the rest of your life. See, sometimes people are all the way into next week, they're all the way into next month. But really, folks, what are you doing today? What are you doing to make the most of today? You know, you look at your 24-hour clock, there's a lot of things that can happen in 24 hours. Definitely, there's some time you got to sleep, and maybe some time you work, maybe you're retired. There's some time you watch TV. There's also some time that you can write. 24 hours is a long time. And for you to say, well, I don't have time to write, hey, what is going on? Why don't you? Even if you have 20 minutes, an hour, you do have some time. Do not get caught up in the excuses. Do not get caught up in the fear. Do not get caught up in the apprehension. But instead, step out and make it happen. Get past all that, because there is a joy in writing. There's a good feeling. There's a feeling of fulfillment. There's a feeling of completion. There's an emptying that takes place on the inside of you when you have taken those ideas and thoughts and made them into a reality, folks. I can only tell you that because I've experienced it. I've experienced it, and I want you to experience it too. I want you to get that fulfillment from writing your book. And I know it takes time. I know it takes time. It's going to take sacrifice. I told you that early on that Jesus endured the cross. Hebrews 12:2. For the joy that was before him. He saw people's lives being changed hundreds of years later, and he went through, he endured, he sacrificed, right? He gave his life. And so that was a huge situation, right? I'm just asking you to give some of your time, some of your commitment to something that will bring you great joy and that will bring others great joy too when they read your book. Okay, when they read your book. And so let me just see if I got any comments. I don't see any comments. It's all good. But that's what I wanted to just share tonight about the joy of writing, just how important it is to write your book. And then if you've written your book, don't get discouraged. Sell that book. Get out there, find your audience, sell that book. Social media is great. Social media is great. But sometimes there are other venues that you may have to launch out into. And I can just tell you a challenge for myself right now: podcasting. I'm starting to learn a little bit at a time about podcasting because I've been told that is the way to go to sell my book. And there's a little apprehension, there's a little reluctance going on with myself, but I'm overcoming it a little at a time. I'm learning some things. I'm reading. I'm taking some notes, and I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. But behind it all, I know it's fear. When I started looking at, like, why am I taking so long? Why am I procrastinating? I just came to myself and accepted this is fear, Joe. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to hear someone say no. You don't want to hear no response at all. But how many you have to press on because of the joy that you're going to get when someone gets a hold of your book or your words, that you wrote it for them. You wrote it to bless someone. You didn't write your book just for you to read it, but you wrote it for others to be able to read it, for others to be able to be involved and engaged in your story. So you just gotta press through. You just gotta take step at a time, and before you know it, you'll be out there and you'll be making a difference. All right, good people. So I want to thank you for joining the book spot. This is the spot where people get their books written. If there's a question or comment before I get off the air, let me know. I will hang around for a little bit. If there is a comment or question, something just popped in. Let's see what we got here. Denise, the hardest part is getting started for me. Yeah, that's for anybody, Denise. Getting started. And so I just encourage you to find a time of the day that works best for you, if it's early morning, late at night, and just get yourself a little pad and a pen and just start scribbling some stuff down. That's how I started with my first book. I just scribbled some letters down, some writings to my mom, and sometimes it was spontaneous, sometimes it got more organized. And someone taught me something at a book festival. This gentleman said, he said, if you spent 10 minutes every night um, just writing, he said, you will get a lot accomplished. Just 10 minutes. That's all he told me to do. And I thought, wow, 10 minutes, that's not a lot of time. But it gave me an idea of how to get focused, how to get organized. Sometimes you can buy yourself a little timer and set it for 10 minutes, set it for 15 minutes, and just get started. You do have to get started. So Denise, I encourage you to get started. If it's morning, if it's nights, if it's weekends, if it's one day out of the week, uh, just gotta make it happen. Just gotta make it happen, right? I think you can do it. I think you can do it, Denise. So yeah, any more questions, comments? I've written several books. I have a book out there now, and I know what it's like. I know what that feeling is like. I know what that joy is like to write. I even know when people don't give you a response or they say they didn't really get much from your book, and it's all good, folks, because you're gonna get both. You're gonna get both. You're gonna get some praise, you're gonna get some rejection. But that's just life, right? That's just life. Your book is not for everyone. Everybody's not gonna get the same um, feeling or the same expression or the same joy or pleasure from your reading. From your writing. Okay, so that don't stop. Yes, Denise, thank you. I'm glad that helped. So yeah, folks, this is the Book Spot. It's on every first and third Monday at 7:30, and I talk sometimes. Once in a while, I bring on a guest, and then they share. And so we just have some fun. I made this commitment to do it, and no matter what's going on, uh, I try to make it happen, right? Because if you give your word, you really should keep your word. If I'm away or something, I might upload something on there, but it's important to keep your word. And here's one: if you make a promise to yourself, um, you should keep it. I mean, if you can't keep your own promises to yourself, how can you make a promise to someone else and keep it, right? So you got to be able to have the ability to make the promise to yourself and fulfill your own promise that you made yourself. If you have to write it down, if you put it in your phone, whatever, but making promises to yourself and keeping them is the beginning of commitment. It's the beginning of being able to commit to something, being able to say, this is what I'm going to do, and you do it, right? No hesitation. You said it and it's done. Like they said in Ten Commandments, let it be written, let it be done. And the same thing I think applies to our everyday life. Yep. So this is a book spot. This is a spot where people get their books written. I just try to encourage you. I just try to motivate you. I try to get you pumped up. I try to tell you about book writing. People watch this video on YouTube. Um, the channel is the Book Spot 1926. They check it out on my Facebook Live, and that's what it's all about, folks. Just trying to give back. Not that I have it all, but what I do have, I don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing. I don't mind giving it back. And I hope this has been a blessing to somebody. I'm having a lot of fun these days. I got myself a new camera. Well, not a new camera. I've had it for a while, just haven't using it. But I've been just really trying to perfect. I've been able to look into the camera, been able to talk into the camera, grabbing the microphone. So it's a little step at a time. It's a little step at a time, folks. You make a little bit of progress, one step at a time. And this is how you destroy fear. You destroy fear by making some steps towards your goal, because fear will immobilize you. Fear will keep you from doing anything. You won't do nothing when you're in fear. When you are afraid, you just sit there and tremble. But when you take courage, which is stepping out in spite of the fact that you are afraid, you will begin to cause fear to dissipate. It'll just go. There's no place in you because it knows you make things happen. So don't be in fear. So much you can accomplish without fear. Thank you. So I think I'm out of time. I think I didn't talk myself out. Unless there's a comment or question, um, I'll stay on a little longer. But if not, I'm going to move on to the next thing because I don't like to waste time either, folks. That's another thing. Don't waste time, okay? Don't waste time. Be able to look back at your previous day and see how you got things accomplished. Of course, you can take a nap, relax, all that kind of stuff. But don't just have hours of time unaccounted for. No productive thing took place, okay? Just be productive, okay? Unless you're on vacation or something or whatever, you just took the day off. Yeah, but that's a whole nother show. It's a whole nother show. All right. Thank you for watching the Book Spot. Appreciate you. See you next month.